Good. So good to see you all. So good to see. So today, what I wanted to do is just have a bit of a chat. Well, I'm going to teach a little bit on contracts and agreements and why I think it's important. And some people might think it may not be important because you're not getting paid, but there's other things that I think you could include in your agreements. So we're just going to talk a little bit about that. It doesn't need to be, in contracts itself, doesn't have to be laborious. It doesn't have to have too much details in it. But there's going to be some core things I want you to include in an agreement. It could be just an email. It doesn't have to be on headed paper or anything like that. It just sets the tone of who you are as a speaker, who you are as a trainer, a consultant, a coach. It just sets the tone. So we're going to just talk a little bit about that. Then we're going to have the hot seat session with Baba. Woo! And then if anyone has any other questions, this is your time. All right, brilliant. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. And then we can get started. So because I've got to let people in the room as well. So if I say hold on, it's just because I'm letting somebody in the room. I didn't actually, I should have deactivated the rating room. My bad. So can you just give me a thumbs up if you can see that screen? Wicked, brilliant. So this is the order of the day. We're going to have a quick chat around why it's important to have a contract in place. And these are just my personal views. And actually, they're views held by a lot of speakers, actually. Then we're going to look at the 7 aspects of a winning contract. So these are the 7 things that need to be in. Now, you don't need to worry about those 7 things because I've got templates for you. I've already done contracts. I have contracts for paid speak. That's right, Helen. I've got contracts if you're getting paid to speak or to train or to deliver some sort of delivery service. And I've also got contracts in place if you're not getting paid. So, and with that template, you can take out bits if it's not relevant. You can add bits to it depending on what you've agreed with that, with the client. Then we're going to have the hot seat session with Baba and Q&As. All right. So my first question to you is, and feel free to unmute yourself as well. Do you have a contract? It could be a contract or it could be an agreement. So do you have anything in place already? Let me know, please. Feel free to just share in the, can I see the comments? Let's see if I can see the comments. Yes, I can. No. Okay.
I've got a coaching contract.
Oh, good. And do you have one for speaking or do you deliver training as well, Sue?
I don't currently deliver training. I'm about to. But I haven't yet. I've only got a coaching contract because that's all I'm doing at the moment.
That's what you're doing. Okay, brilliant. So yeah, you could definitely benefit from a training contract as well once that starts. So Smoothie said that she's got one, but she needs to sort the rest out. What do you mean by the rest, Smoothie? And then Helen said, I was given one for a recent summit to sign, but haven't. Okay, that's fine. So that's really interesting. That summits, they will have one for you. Depending on how big the summit is, but I always have one ready in my arsenal because it just shows them that I'm a professional. So they may say, Michelle, this is your contract to sign. And then I'll say, well, I have one as well for you to sign for me. So it just positions me as a true professional in their mind. So yeah, so coaching, yes. So most people are saying no. Some people are saying yes. Okay, brilliant, good. So this is what I would say the purpose of a contract is. So the purpose of a speaker contract, just looking at speaking for now, is to just remind all parties of what has been agreed. So I know that some people have contracts because they feel like if anyone breaks it, they're going to sue them. Now, I don't know, No, actually, tell a lie. I know of 2 people who have sued their client or sued whoever had got them in to do the speaking event based on their contract. But if we move away from litigation, basically your contract is literally just there to remind everybody of what we said in our email, what we said on Messenger, or what we said on the phone. It just makes sure that everybody knows what's required. So I'm going to go through what things should be included. So always make sure that you establish the date, the time, and the location. And I put virtual medium because if it's going to be on Zoom, it might be on Webinar Jam, it could be on Microsoft Teams. You just want to establish all of those. Now, I always establish the time. So I don't know about you guys, but I have specific times that I like to speak. So I like to speak either just before, if it's an all-day summit, I like to speak just before the break. I never like to be the first because not everybody shows up on time. And just before the break, that's when people just ready to just learn a bit more because they know they've got the break afterwards. The worst place to be is at the end or just after a break because people are just a bit lethargic. And even if they're, you know, in their homes, they don't always come back on time. And if you're at the end and it's about like 5 o'clock, you know, everybody's cooking or doing other sorts of things. So just be mindful of where you're positioned. Then the type and title of your presentation. So when I talk about the type and title, people always want to know what your title is, but I know that sometimes your title may change. So just have an agreement of what the title is going to be. Don't let them give you a title. They may give you a theme, but you decide on what your title is and whether it's going to, oh, where's my things gone? Whether it's going to be a presentation, whether it's going to be live, whether it's going to be pre-recorded, all of those things you want to establish. Then it's the remuneration. So you may be getting paid to speak for that particular slot, or they may allow you, and under remuneration, I've also included them allowing you to sell. So that's going to be a form of remuneration because if anyone buys, that's your money. So you want to agree with them whether they're going to pay you for this presentation or for this particular training, or you're going to sell a product, or you might give people a link to a free call with you or a free download. So you want to establish what those are. Copyright permissions, which I'm going to go into later on around your intellectual property. This is really important. Who owns the right to your presentation if you're doing it for somebody else? We can have an open dialogue about that because I think that's really important. And also how many times they use it. All of those things matter. And audio visual needs. So this is more for in person, but actually this works online as well. The audio visual, like I said before, is it going to be on Zoom? Is it going to be on Webinar Jam? Will you have a time to test it out before you do it, especially if it's a new platform that you've not used before? So be aware of that. Promotions and publicity. Who's going to be promoting it? So I know there are some event organizers where they want you to promote it as a speaker. And I'm always for that because I want to support and help everybody. But sometimes they put too much pressure on you where they want you to send it to your email list about 10 times before the event. I know I've signed contracts where they've said that I'm not allowed to speak at any other event while this is happening during a 7-day period. So I signed that contract and I agreed to that at that time because I had no other speaking engagements that week. But if I did, I wouldn't have signed it. So I wouldn't have signed their contract. So these things just need to be aware of. And plus you want to know how they're promoting the event as well. Are they just sending it to their email list? Are they using social media? Are they partnering with other people to promote it? These are the things you just want to be aware of and just have it noted down. And then the last area is the cancellation policy. Of course you want to know if the event doesn't go ahead, what happens? Especially if you've already sent them your PowerPoint presentation, what happens? Do they send it back to you? Are they going to reuse it at a different time? So feel free to take a picture of that. These are the core things that need to be in any agreement. And like I said before, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to have like a DocuSign and, you know, it all with all the bells and whistles on it. You can just have something really straightforward on email, on a Word document, but something that just establishes your agreement. So I'm going to stop sharing so that I can see any comments. Are there any questions so far on what I've said already? Any questions? Let me just put you on a grid so I can see. No questions? Good. This is good. So yeah, and we'll talk a little bit more about the intellectual property, because I know that this has come up quite often where people say, someone's asked me a number of times, I've done a piece of training, they've done a piece of training and they want to reuse that training, but they've only paid you for one time. So we can discuss that in more details. Brilliant. Okay, welcome, Glad. Good to have you in the room. Right, let's move on to the next step. So I want to talk about the 50-50 principle. And this is if you are getting paid, because effectively I want you all to get paid for your speaking engagements. So we can have a little discussion about how you can actually get paid. So the 50-50 principle is you always get 50% deposit. Always, always and forever. Do not wait until the event is finished. Do not wait until your training contract is finished. Always get 50% up front. And that's going to be the bedrock of your agreement. So if you're getting paid, you always, and you're having your discussion with them first, always say, my policy is that I get 50% deposit. So then you can work out whether that's got to be paid a week before, 2 weeks before. I usually do, once I'm booked for a paid speaking engagement, at that point of booking me, I ask for 50%. So that's got to be done within a week. So that could usually be a month before I'm actually delivering my talk. And then 50% on delivery. When I say 50% on delivery, I'm talking about I give them a week off, up to a week after I've done my talk to pay me the rest. So let me give you an example of this in practice. Last year, I was booked to deliver a talk this year, 2020, in July, and it was meant to be in person. So we established our agreement and she paid me 50% once she booked me. Then she gave me 50% beforehand. Then obviously COVID happened and she had come back to me and said, when we had made the agreement was that it'd be the other 50%, but now it's going to be online. Can she pay me less? No. Because my material was still the same. I was still going to bring the energy. Any downloadables or anything I was going to offer as an add-on for any of the attendees, everything remained the same. And although we didn't have a contract because no one knew about COVID, although in my contract I didn't state if we transition online, you still need to be paid, I put my foot down and I said, I'm still expecting 50% on delivery, not 20%, not 30%. So we agreed that. And although, you know, I had to put on my hard hat, it established something for her. She now knows, don't play with me. I know my stuff, just like all of you know your stuff. Sometimes you have to be strong and say, no, I'm really sorry, because we already made the agreement that you're going to pay me 100% of whatever you've agreed to pay me. I'm not taking anything less. So that's what happened. And I'm so glad we had that contract in place because she had to pay it. And she did. Good on her. She paid it, and she paid it within 2 days of me delivering it. And actually, we moved to online, but it was meant to be in July. Then she pushed the event back to, did we do it in September? Yeah, she pushed it back to September. And around September, that's when the government was saying that you can meet up. So we had the event in person. There was but she could only have like 6 or 7 people attend. And that was her choice. She still had to pay me 100%. Why? Because I had a contract. So these are the things that just alleviates any messiness that may happen. Yeah. So I'm just reading the comments. Love this. Getting really, yeah. And do you know why? Because I really like her. And although she said, oh, Michelle, can I pay you less? Because now we're transitioning online. I just said, oh, you know, we did have that agreement in place and it's my policy that I have to abide by it. You know, I'm not very confrontational at all. So I do have agreements in place for most things because I just don't like confrontation. So, and she was perfectly fine with that. So, which worked out good. So that's just a little warning in terms of what could happen if you don't have one. So let's talk about your intellectual property. Know your intellectual property. First and foremost, when somebody says to you, Helen, I would really love you to deliver a piece of training for me. Let me stop sharing my screen so I can actually hear some from you. So Helen, let's use you for an example. Because I know you've got this TV one coming up, haven't you? You haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet, no.
Okay. So tell me the process, how they came to you, what they've asked you to do, and what you've agreed.
That's right. They were in my network and they saw that I was a finalist for the Solopreneur Awards. And they said, that sounds amazing. I'd love to interview you on my show. Mm-hmm. And then they just emailed me details of when and where. And they basically said, you know, it's basically a showcase for you to talk about what you do and why. And I've been able to go back and look at a couple of other interviews that they've done, so I know roughly what to expect. Mm-hmm. And then when they emailed me the details, they were quite upfront about the fact that, you know, if I wanted a copy of the recording, like either the raw footage, they said, you know, it will be this amount. If you want an edited version and maybe some nice clips, then it will cost you this amount. And, you know, this is the first time I'm coming across this. Yeah. So I was like, well, okay, whatever.
Yeah, Helen, you're right. That's what we do. Even I still do it now because, you know, there's some opportunities, especially, and what I tend to do is if I've been asked to, you know, you can get paid for doing podcasts nowadays, you know, so just wanted to throw that in. So somebody had asked me if they could interview me. So I said, yeah, that's fine. And I wanted to find out how many people it goes out to. I wanted to know all of those kind of things. So I wanted to find out, is it going to benefit me as much as it will benefit them? And I had to make a conscious decision whether I wanted, you know, the footage and all of that. So I had said to her, I'm happy to do it, but because you're not paying me for this, I would really like to have a copy of the footage. Now, I know they will charge me if I ask for the edited version. So I just asked for the raw footage. And I said, I would really like the raw footage because effectively it's my intellectual property. That's what I said. And I said, it's my intellectual property because I'm doing this interview and you want me to do a presentation. So it's my material that I've, you know, labored and slaved over. You know, it's my logo, it's my, and if anybody, any of your readers or listeners or viewers, they take my stuff and they put it into action, or they take it and they repurpose it, that's my stuff, I'm losing money. So she said, you know what, I've never looked at it like that, so fine, no problem at all. So she gave me all my footage back, and part of the agreement was, now that I have the footage, I want to reuse it the way I see fit, but it will always put them in a good light. So that's what I offered, and she was fine about it. So there's sometimes I will do things and I don't ask for anything and I just get it done. But I always like to have my footage back, and I don't mind the raw image, and I'll just find someone on Fiverr to edit it, or the husband in the conservatory. But it's your property, you know, it's your stuff. And I think on our journey to be more visible, on our journey to be more profile, we say yes to a lot of things and we don't always benefit from it. I don't think we always benefit, because what I want us to do is to make sure that either we're monetizing all these visibility activities we're doing, or we're going to get paid clients from it. We've got to get something from it, right? Because, and I think it's all great, all the podcasts that you guys are doing, all the Facebook lives, all the interviews, it's all good. But I want you to start measuring, what are you actually getting back from it? How are you guys monetizing it? And that's part of us raising our visibility. So if somebody comes to you and says, Cyan, I definitely want to work with you, I want to be part of the Career SOS, you have to be asking, how did you find me? How did you hear about me? Because this is important. This is important stuff. If you're not answering those questions, how do you know that all your visibility metrics or your visibility stuff are working? So when anyone contacts me, absolutely anybody contacts me and says, oh, Michelle, like someone said more recently, Michelle, I need some contracts done for my company. I've got people coming back from furlough and I need new contracts. So I said, yeah, that's fine. I'm more than happy to do that. How did you hear about me? And that person said, it was in a Facebook group that I did a video about something else, but I mentioned that I do HR contracts. So I thought, okay, that's good. What was the group? So at least I know that actually doing some sort of activity in that group is yielding some work. And then I did their contract and I charged them £650 for doing one contract. So out of a 1 minute, no, my video was 1.5 minutes video that I did probably about a month ago, I've now made £650 from it. Do you see the line? Do you see where it has to work? There's got to be something on it. We're not doing all this for vanity. I mean, you know, you might be, but vanity metrics means nothing. How many people liking it and sharing it is brilliant, and we need that because it just helps with the algorithms. But I want to know, what are you getting back from it? Yeah. So any questions on that so far? Let me see. I know everything is visibility that builds credibility. Yeah, so Mercy said right now everything is about visibility and building credibility. Most definitely. So it all depends on what stage you're at. So I think when, not at the beginning, you're not at the beginning, but at the early stages, it's all about raising your visibility, being everywhere, anywhere, all the time. Then you move on to, right, I think I've had enough credibility. I'm here, I'm there, people know about me now, people talk about me now, I get tagged in posts. I think I've established, you have testimonials for days, you have case studies for days. So you know now you are credible, you are valuable, you are in a position to be demanding, all right? So the next stage is now, how am I going to monetize all of that? So I spoke to Cyan today, and I said to Cyan, because I know that she's done a lot of work, so I said to Cyan, now is the next step. Now it's about direct sales. So now it's going out to people directly and say, I know that you've been in this situation. I know that this is the issues you have. It could be people that you know, and you direct sell, because now you can say, I've been on this magazine, I've written for this publication, I've been featured in more than 50 podcasts, I've been on this radio station, I've done this. So they don't even need to worry about, are you the right person? Because your credibility speaks volumes, absolute volumes. So I want to find out from you, who is still building their credibility and who is now, it's time to monetize. So credibility is the first one, number one. You can put number one in the comments, or number two, it's time to monetize. Keith is time to monetize. Baba's still building, that's perfectly fine. Smoothie's still building. Carol Ann's still building, brilliant. Mercy building. Linda, you're at that stage where you can monetize. Brilliant. Good. Yeah, Cyan, credibility, but want to monetize. Yeah, you want to do them both at the same time. Yeah, Helen, you're number one, but yeah, and you can still monetize. Do you know what? If it's still in the building stage, you can still make money from it. Credibility, good. So interestingly enough, before we wrap up this, in terms of the credibility, what is your end? When do you know I've built enough credibility? So let me look at some of the people who said number one. So Carol Ann, feel free to unmute yourself. When do you know that you've built up enough credibility?
That's a very good question. I don't know. Because what I then put in there is I'd already thought today that next month is where I'm going to move to actually get monetizing it or finding ways of shifting, utilizing it and monetizing it. So I think it's more for me a sense of guidance.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like that. And just knowing when is the right, and probably it's a feeling thing as well. It could be, Carol Ann. When do I know I feel like, yeah, it's time? Because I think it's an internal job. You don't want to have to feel that imposter syndrome. And I think that when people start monetizing when they're not ready, you start to feel, oh my God, am I good enough? Have I done enough of this? Have I really positioned myself as an expert to start charging, or to start charging high fees? So you want to get, I guess it's a feeling of, do I feel like I've done enough? Yeah.
Because what I've really found through doing this is actually, and more the networking, is people's misconceptions about what I do.
Ah, interesting.
And where they go, because it's not in their realm of understanding. So it's been really interesting to get the different angles where people sort of go. They say, "Oh, will you do this?" And I go,
Yeah.
Will you do this?
Yeah,
So,
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just getting that message out. This is what I do. I am the writing facilitator. I am your writing midwife. I am here to guide you to write, to express. So that's got to be, and I guess if people are still,
and it's not even guide.
Not even guide.
It's unlocking from within. See, it's just a subtle play on words. Yeah.
And it makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Totally.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to see more of the Carol Ann as the person who unlocks that potential to write.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Sue said something, and I think it's so key. Building credibility should be ongoing, most definitely. And I think it never stops. And when you start monetizing and you actually start getting clients who are buying you because they believe in what you do, because they've seen it everywhere, they hear people talk about you, that adds to the next step of your credibility. So for example, I had somebody who came to me and they said, Michelle, I've heard so much about what you do, I just want to work with you. And I thought, brilliant, this is credibility. And you know what I said? I said, you see that line you just said to me? Can I just write it down and use it as a testimonial? I don't even need you to write me a testimonial, but can I just write what you said down? She said, yeah, sure. She goes, I was having a conversation with somebody and your name came up, and they said, and they just, whatever they said. And I said, oh my God, can I just write this down? And I just quickly typed it up. And that's another level of credibility. When people can refer, they say they're having a conversation about something else and somebody brings your name into a conversation. All of these are credibility indicators. Brilliant. Cyan, it's all new to me, but this online TV thing could cost £25. Okay. Right, so Cyan was saying that, so Cyan, unmute yourself. You feel free to talk.
Well, thank you so much. No, I was just, I asked a question a little while ago and Helen kindly answered. I think my question was, so could we potentially have to pay for footage? Because I hadn't never realized that before. And I was just wondering like what kind of price point, or if there is like negotiation. I think everything's negotiable personally, but actually, Helen, that's really helpful. I mean, £25, I mean, it is a no-brainer, isn't it? If you're going to pay, for me, I think £4.50 for a lovely edited version. Yeah, okay. I would probably just pay for fiverr.com, but you know, it depends on how good it is. But that's good to know. I don't know, Michelle, have you
I've had to pay, yeah, and yeah. I paid for, and the reason why I paid is because the company I did it for, the lady, she was the runner-up on The Apprentice. So I thought, if I can be seen on her platform, definitely, I will get lots of eyeballs. And I can say I was interviewed by Bianca Miller of The Apprentice. So, and yeah, and she charged, I think hers was about, was it about 25 or was it 75? Oh, I can't remember. It was under £100. But I paid because I just thought I want to utilize her footage and I wanted to leverage the hell out of her name. And I haven't, to be fair, I haven't even really leveraged on this yet. So this is a good reminder to myself as well. But I did it because I know that she's quite well established. You know, she charges like £2,000 per half hour of her time. Yeah. And to say that she was on the BBC Apprentice, it speaks volumes. So always compare and contrast, like how credible are these people? Is it worth me doing it? And also, you know how you showed up online. If you know that your presentation or your interview was really good, your content was good, and you want that footage, why not?
Yeah, it's worth it. Yeah,
it's definitely worth it. I did one more recently. I didn't have to pay for it because I put it in my contract that I wasn't paying for it. And they sent it to me. And I don't know, I think I posted it on Facebook where it's just me. I just did a clip and I was talking about the different types of partnerships, horizontal partnerships and vertical partnerships, how you need people to lead, lead and feed. And I was talking about those three. I just posted a clip on my Facebook and somebody said, oh, I just saw your clip. Oh, it looks really good. And this is the unedited version. And they said, oh, I could really do with you delivering a talk on this. So I said, I'm more than happy to do a presentation on that. I'll let you know what my fees are. They haven't come back to me. They haven't come back to me. Well, that's fine. That's fine. Because I don't really know them well enough to be doing it for free. So my thing is, do you want me to do it for your audience? You're going to have to pay for it. So anyway, so I'll just put this out for you guys. Brilliant. So what I want us to do now, we have 25 minutes. I want to do a quick 20 minutes hot seat with Baba, and I want you to listen in. Feel free to add any comments in the box. If you have anything to add, we can unmute you as well. This is just a little one-to-one. I like to, this is a new thing. I think we did it once or twice before, where it's just about you and your product, your service, whatever. You can ask me anything. It's usually around visibility, but Baba, you can ask me absolutely anything you like. So over to you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. So excited to be on, I'm standing, but to be on the hot seat. So for those that don't know me or that we've not met, my focus changed at the last Explode. So I was able to change my signature methodology, and post that, what I've been doing on the back of the strategic partnership that Simone spoke about maybe 2 weeks or 4 weeks ago. I've started connecting with more people. I've started getting visible in some Facebook groups. There is actually a Facebook group that allows you to post about your coaching offers on Thursday. So I think I'm going to be posting this week to have like beta testers or to gauge interest. I'm planning to do that this week. Then in terms of visibility, so I want to host an event around 3 weeks time. And what I'm looking to do is some of the relationships that I'm building now, I want to interview some of them. Some of them are a few steps ahead of me in this space. So I think it will be quite good for me to be interviewing them, to be like having shared stage with them. And then on the back of that, or even before the event, once I'm able to do the poster and things like that, I then plan to reach out more for places to speak. So that's where I'm at now, and that's what I'm doing. So questions are, I think what you've touched on today, in a reverse way, applies to me because I'm the one that wants to host events now. So I need to work out the contract I'll be
All right,
giving.
I've got one for you. I got you. I've got one for event organizers as well.
Okay, awesome. So that would be great. So any tips, any suggestions around, and I'm hoping to do it live so people can ask questions, they can interact a bit rather than it was recorded, nobody's interested. And I'm still trying to what I don't want to do is to have a full day's job planning the event. I want it to be as sleek and slim as possible, but at the same time powerful. So I'm thinking it to be an interview live session, most likely Zoom, give people the Zoom link so that I don't get too buried in tech and things like that. So any suggestions, any tips around that, and also to get more speaking gigs.
What's the theme? What's the theme of your interview?
So it's going to be around winning dads. So that's for dads that are juggling life, business, work, feeling a bit too much, out of rhythm, out of work-life balance. And the idea is to sell them that the end goal, the picture, the dream is they're winning dads. So they are dads, they are still winning, and also with COVID. And I think women were not very open sometimes. We don't want to talk. We don't feel we need help. So all of those pieces, getting help, speaking out, not defining yourself by the work you do, but knowing, you are more than the work you do and things like that. And so I'm not going into mental health because I'm not a professional in that space, but just from the perspective of seeing things from a different perspective, work-life balance, and also people sharing their stories of how they've managed it while they were at that stage of their lives.
Yeah, so it's for winning dads. So you're going to be obviously you're interviewing dads and who are going to be talking about how they've been coping, how they're managing being a father, working and family life and all that. What is the outcome of these interviews?
So the outcome is, one, for them to know they are not alone, because as I've been speaking to people, that seems to be a recurring theme, that a number of people feel they're just alone. And even some of their wives have told me that they feel they're alone. And so I plan to do a Facebook group, but I don't want to do too many things at the same time. Then secondly, just getting some tips around how to get their work-life balance, setting boundaries, deciding what they really want to do, prioritizing, and also deciding and identifying what's important to them, know what the society wants to be important to them, things around that.
So if, let's say you interview a gentleman and he then says, Baba, how can you help me now that I've, released all of this information, my interview, how can you help them?
Oh, how I can help them? I plan to do coaching, and then we can do coaching where I get to understand a little more about their specific needs. Because I think the other thing is one size may not fit all for everyone because the challenges might be different, what they're doing might be different. So coaching will be the answer.
Yeah, okay, good. I like it. And I think it's nice to actually be interviewing men and just getting to hear some of their vulnerability as well, because we women are quite good at it. We know we're good at wearing our heart on our sleeves, so we don't see it as much for men. So I think it'd be really nice. So have you lined up your interviews as well? Have you got any guys? I can suggest you a couple that I'll send you separately.
Okay, that would be awesome. Yes, I've got some names. I've reached out to a few. I'm also building relationships. So I know someone that knows some other people that can connect. So I'm working with that mutual connection. So all of those are going on.
Okay, I like that. That sounds great. And in terms of, so if you're doing this in 3 weeks' time, let me get my phone. So let's give some practical. So what's your date?
So I've not fixed the date, but I'm looking at third week in November. So that will be because I also want to work with the people I'm interviewing to get their availability. So I'm looking at week starting 16th of November, maybe towards the end of that week.
Okay, so let's get a date now.
Okay, we'll say 19, 20, and 21st.
Oh, is there 3-day interviews?
Yes, so I'm hoping to get maybe 6 people.
Okay.
And then 1 hour, 1.5 hours. Sorry?
2 each day for an hour?
No, each person will speak for maybe 20, 25 minutes. Then there'll be like 15 minutes interview. So altogether, 90 minutes.
Okay, cool. So you're going to do a Zoom recording on the 19th, the 20th, the 21st. You'd have 2 people per day, around 20, 25-minute interviews. So if that's on the 19th, 1, 2, 3, and you want to get you, and how many people are you looking to attend your Zoom live?
I'll say minimum of 20. I like a minimum of 20.
So so you've got 20. So I don't know what your conversion rate is. So let's put it as a numbers game, right? So you want to be advertising this at least to about 100 people to get at least 20 people registered. That really means that about let me not be too tight. About 12 people might attend. Do you see, right? So it's just like with anything else, you want to get in front of enough people, and then obviously they have to register, and then attending live, obviously the show up rate's always going to be much lower than we would like. So what is your strategy for advertising and marketing the Zoom?
So one of it is what I said about putting out a content this Thursday to find out people that are struggling, that need help. I'm still writing the copy on that. And then when they've shown their interest, I could then mail them afterwards to let them know this event is coming up. I'm hoping to do that in a few groups. And then I'll encourage the people I'm interviewing to also share with their list social media without the pressure you went through though.
Right, so you've only given me one strategy. Can I have another 2? So one of your strategies is Facebook groups. Give me 2 more marketing strategies you're going to use.
So the promotion by the people I'm interviewing.
Okay, that's another one.
Strategy.
Anyone else got any suggestions for Baba? How else he can get more eyeballs? And what's the title? You want a catchy title for this?
I was thinking of Winning Dads.
Just call it Winning Dads. Nice, okay.
Have you got a mailing list or anything, Baba?
No, I don't.
Okay. We'll have to start creating a mailing list, you know. You could actually start creating a mailing list from the people that attend, actually.
That's also part of it. You know, I'll get a list from that.
Mercy said live stream. That's another one. How do you feel about that?
What does she mean by live stream? Mercy, do you mind clarifying what you mean by live stream?
She there, Mercy? She might mean like.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so maybe just do a quick intro into what it is you're doing and promote, or maybe teach something or do a talking head.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, just to repeat, I think what Mercy's saying that you can do, you could do like a live stream probably on your social media pages. You could do that. So you tell people what the event's going to be about and what they'll get from it. Always talk about the benefits of them joining and the benefits of them joining live. Is there anything you could offer if they join live?
Maybe the recordings?
Yeah.
They join live, then they'll get the recording.
That sounds good. And Linda also mentioned you can put it on Eventbrite as well. Eventbrite's free, and then people who search events on Eventbrite, they'll see it as well. That's a good idea. Thanks, Linda. And she also mentioned LinkedIn, of course. And what is your strap line for your event? So you've got Winning Dads. What's the strap line underneath?
I've not gotten to that yet, but it will likely be something along the lines of, I was thinking, no, let me stop. Managing work and family life during a pandemic. Or post-pandemic. I'm not sure if we're post or during, you know.
Nicholas said, winning dads managing the rat race of daily life.
Then
that's more sustainable, isn't it? So, because you could literally do a series of this, you know. So the winning dads is the concept, and then you can have managing the rat race, and then that subject could be just on COVID, you know, the one on the 19th, 20th and 21st. And then you might do another one in about a month's time, still the winning dads theme, but the topic might be on something else. So you could do like a 3-part series of the winning dads series.
Okay. Thanks, Nicola.
Up your list as well.
Okay. And
start looking into like not active campaign. What's the other free one? MailChimp or something like that.
Okay.
Do you know how to use that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I've used it before, but yeah.
Yeah. So everybody that registers, just put you do it manually for now. Yeah. Just copy and paste their email address into, but you have to make sure that on your Zoom link or somewhere you've said that they agree to be added to your list. GDPR.
Yeah.
Which you know well about.
Yes.
Good. Right. Any other questions? So let's just get clear what you're going to do. You're doing an online event called Winning Dads, and we like Nicola's idea, managing the rat race of daily life. You could possibly do a series, so this way you can build up that know, like, and trust factor with these people, and then they start joining each week or each month, however you're going to do it. You're going to advertise in a number of Facebook groups. Yeah. But be very clear what Facebook groups they are, and check in. So if anyone makes a comment, oh, this is great, Baba, send them a message and say, oh, brilliant, I'm glad that you like this. Here's the link. Will be great to see you. So continue the conversation, yeah? So you've got the Facebook groups. You're going to ask the speakers themselves, the interviewees, to help promote, and you're going to use, what's that? Eventbrite. Can't read my own handwriting. Eventbrite, brilliant. Okie dokie. And then you're going to offer, well, we haven't really solidified that, but if any of your listeners or viewers, they need extra support, or if the interviewees themselves, you could offer coaching, some support around. Would you be able, last point from me, would you be able and have time to create like a 1-page PDF? It could be a checklist, it could be, and the checklist could be how to manage your daily life, 10 tips, or something that you can give them.
Like a lead magnet?
Yeah.
Yes.
You can do that? Okay, brilliant. So what I'm going to do is, so today is the 27th. The profile builder challenges starts next week, so I'll be exhausted. So I'm not checking on anybody. You know, it's going to be full on. I won't be able to sleep. Okay, but I'm going to check in on you in 2 weeks' time, which is the 10th. Put that in your diary, Baba. The 10th, and I want to know what you've done.
Okay.
Now on the 10th. Is that fair?
Sounds great. Yes.
Awesome.
Holding myself accountable in front of everyone.
Brilliant. So check in with Baba. I better put it in my diary. Good. And then when we have, I don't know, then definitely share in the GTeX profile order group how it's going. So that's the 23rd. So on Monday, the 23rd, you're going to put a post in the GTeX profile builder group, so we all know how it all went.
Okay.
And so we can all just congratulate you.
Thank you very much.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you very much for the hot seat. Let's give them a hand. Woo!
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for all the comments.
So we've got a couple minutes. Any questions for anybody? Any questions about anything that we've done today? Anything else? So in terms of the contracts, I've got them on my personal file. So I'm going to add them into the resources and I'll copy and paste that link into the profile builder group so you can just access it. So I'll go through, like take my name and take all my prices out and then I'll put it, unless you want to see my prices, and then I will put it in there so you can access that. And to be fair, I do not have a pricing strategy. I'm just going to tell you that from now. It really varies, especially for like speaking. So sometimes I think the most I've been paid now, if I'm going to be honest with you, I think is 5,500, and that was for a 90-minute talk. And the least I've been paid is nothing. So it varies, you know, and you know, I kind of work out how am I feeling at that particular day, whether I, you know, go high or low. But yeah, we all have to work out our pricing strategy. So that's mine. Any questions? So let's have a look. Anita, you need help with pitch. Is that email pitches or pitching? What do you mean by pitch?
With the email.
Email pitch. Have you looked at the resource I sent you first?
Yeah, I actually looked at that. The problem was that one, it seemed like for more advanced people who already have some articles.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
And I have zero. Right. Plus, I found, basically, I wrote the note, what you told me on our first call. Then I looked into Profile Builder Challenge resources, and basically it was like 3 different things.
Yeah. Okay, so this is good point. So anybody, this is for anybody, especially for Anita. If you are new to pitching to publications and you do not have the comfort of saying, oh, I've written for other magazines, literally you have to just base it on your passion. Mm-hmm. You've got to say, for you, Anita, it's, you know, I have a great passion around environmental issues, sustainability. Then put a link to your LinkedIn, because you can write posts and blogs and articles on your own LinkedIn. So at least they can see your writing style. So it gives them some indication. So even if you've not written for any publications, you can write on your own LinkedIn. So that's what I would do, is really talk about the passion that you have, and then send them a link to your LinkedIn page. So start with that and send it to me. Feel free to send it to me before you send it. Yeah?
Yeah, that would be really helpful. I have one more question, because we were discussing one of the resources I could check was Elephant Journal. And when I looked at it, I actually realized you just create your account and basically just publish like anything. Like nobody's like censoring it, like what you're thinking.
Yeah, I think they do censor it in the sense of it's got to be relevant to their readers. So although you put it up, you can upload. I think Medium is the same, where you can create your content, and if it's good enough and they're happy with it, then it gets published. So it's
so they still kind of check it.
Yeah, it's got to be, you know, incredibly wrong and full of profanity, and then I'm sure it won't get through.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in this sort of like medium, you can still do kind of some kind of call to action, or just purely article? But
you've got to be clever with your call to action. So instead of just saying, oh, call me for details, you talk about your products that you have. You can always base it on your personal experience, like having used this, I can see a difference in my energy levels. You want to, it's got to be so subtle, but it also tells the reader, well, this person has used it. Let me find out more.
What about, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry to interrupt you. What about if I put like, let me know if you would like to try it, or basically if you would like to try it for free to see?
Yeah, try it. Definitely try it. If it doesn't get published, then you know what it is.
Yes.
Then you do it and then take that bit out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That will do. Yeah, and Linda said write your own blog as well. Yeah, definitely.
Can I just jump in that one as
well?
well?
Yeah, go for it.
Medium and Global Thrive, if you put, they'll let you put all your social media underneath and they'll highlight it. So if you write an article, it doesn't matter what you're writing about. Sorry, just put your contact underneath and they do it.
Awesome. That's a good point. Thank you for that, Linda. Brilliant. Okay, guys, we are wrapping up. Any other questions? You can just definitely send me a message on Facebook Messenger, a voice note, whatever. I will recap what we discussed today. I'll get my contracts. They're a bit weighty, they're a bit long, but you know, you can just take out bits. And I will upload that on the PR and press resources. Then you've got that. And just before we go, again, we're doing the Profile Builder Challenge on the 2nd. And although we're pitching it as 5 days, as you all know that it was about 7 to 8 days. If you know anybody who wants to be a part of that challenge, reach out to Simone. He'll give you an affiliate link and you can send them that. Yeah, so we're all in this together, as many people as we can get. And I really love this community. I cannot wait until we can all meet in person. It's going to be fantastic because, I mean, there's so many people here I've never met in person. So I'm really looking forward to that day. But yeah, if you know anybody on your email list or in your social media who may be interested in the challenge, please do send them the affiliate link and that will be awesome. So thank you, everybody. Yes, Mercy, you can reach out to me on Facebook Messenger. No problem at all. No problem at all.
Michelle, can I just ask you a quick question related to that affiliate link? Can we just post it in like a Facebook post rather than having to send people emails?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can just use the link in any way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it at 6 o'clock again?
It's
starting from Monday.
Yeah, it's 6 p.m. GMT now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's the same thing, the same process. We'll have people in the Facebook group. Those who have upgraded the VIP, they get the Q&As straight after. So all of that. Was
it a couple of hours each night? I mean, I know there was homework as well, but it was about that, wasn't it? 2.5.
It felt a little bit longer, Cyan.
I know I felt like I was just living and breathing it forever. But
actually, so within the each evening, it's actually half an hour teaching from either myself and Simone, and then Q&As for about 10 minutes, and then the Facebook group ends, and those who have upgraded, they stay in Zoom. And they get another half an hour. Yeah, they get another half an hour of Q&A.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, and one last thing. I forgot. So remember on the Profile Builder Challenge, we offered anybody who engaged the most or shared the most or posted the most, we gave them prizes. And what we had done, myself and Simone had gone to everybody in the old GTeX profile to see if they had anything they wanted to offer. So now you guys, I want to offer the same to you. If you've got any coaching, any sessions, any products that you want to give away as a prize, then please send me a direct message. So literally this works out really good for you guys. If you do coaching, for example, we can offer that to one of the winners. You have that coaching session, you knock them out the park, and then if you want to upsell to them, if you want to work with them, that's all for you, all right? So it's what it's worth. So yeah, you're offering a free session effectively, but it's, you know, it could lead to other things. So I just want to offer that. So anybody, feel free to send me a message. I need to get basically 8 prizes. I need 8. All right. All right then, folks, take care. And the recording will be made available shortly. All right. Take care. Bye.